Hi students, welcome to my channel. My name is T. Rashekar, working as a lecturer in Civil Engineering, College SRR Government Polytechnic, Sircilla. So today I am going to teach you the subject of Transportation Engineering, subject code 18C 305, third semester for the Diploma in Civil Engineering. Okay, and today's chapter is Unit 6, Introduction to Permanent Way in Railways. And today's topic is Classification and Characteristics of Rails. Objectives: on the completion of this period, you would be able to state and explain different types of rails and state and explain the characteristics of rails. Recap: in the previous classes we have learned gauges and types of gauges, necessity of introduction of different gauges, problems in having different gauges, advantages of railways, comparison of railways over roadways. So these are the topics we have seen in the previous classes, but now in the class we are going to see the rails. Okay, so types of rails and characteristics of rails. Okay, so rails can carry the wheels of trains. Okay, nothing but on the rails itself the train will be traveling. So coming to here, types of rails: double headed rails, that is DH rails, bull headed rails, that is BH rails, and flat footed rails, FF rails. So remember, these three rails are very important. So these are the diagrams you can see. So first one, wave diagram, is nothing but double headed rail. Okay, so this is similar of top and bottom are same. And B, bull headed rail. So you can see here top is some extension portion is large and bottom is small. Okay, and here you can see comparison of A and B diagrams, both web are. This is some web is somewhat very large and this one is medium. Okay, and coming to here, flat footed rail, the top of the web is very small and the flat bottom is very large, and you can see it is the medium size. Okay, so these three types of rails, and we are using the C1. Okay, C1 is we are using in the Indian Railways. So coming to here, double headed railways. In double headed rails, both top and bottom tables bulbs are made up of same section. So we will call bulbs as a same, top and bottom are in the bulb type shape. So that's why we call it as bulbs. So these top and bottoms are made of both same section. And next, but they could not be reused as the bottom table was dented. So dented means, so it is vanished or any okay, and they require chase gripping units. So gripping units are with sides gripping. Okay, to just like a keeping as a side supports. Okay, and next they are obsolete now. So obsolete now means they are not using. Okay, so they are not available, and also we are not using in our railways. So, and this is the diagram you can see. And next one is bull headed rails. In this type, top table is made thicker than the bottom table to provide for greater wear. Okay, and they cannot be directly fixed to sleepers. So this is the diagram. So this top one is the head and bottom one is the foot. So you can see top is 66 mm and bottom is 64 mm. So that means how much mm difference? 2 mm. Okay, and here 46 mm and here is 33 mm, and in between 66 mm, and this portion will called as middle one web, and total height of the rail is 145 mm. Okay, so this is the bull headed rail. So coming to now flat footed rails. So in this type, foot of the rail is made thinner and wider than the head. Okay, they can be directly fixed to rails. The section was invented by Charles Vignolles. Okay, remember this name. Charles Vignolles has invented this type of flat footed rail. So you can see the diagram. So this top one portion you can see. So this is a flat footed. Okay, so this is the flat portion and this is the web. This is the head and this is the foot. Okay, in between you can know web. So here 66.58 and bottom is 136.53 mm. Okay, and this thickness of the, here you can see web is 20.64 mm. Okay, and here 43.6 mm, and total is 142.88 mm. This is the height of the portion. So these flat footed rails we are using in our Indian Railways. Okay, so these rails are also known as Vignolles rails, and FF rails have got more advantages than bull headed rails. 90% of railway track in the world is laid by these rails. So you can see how important it is flat footed rails and how good they are. Okay, So the foot of the rail is directly spiked to the wooden slipper, or it can be fixed to metal slippers with keys, or it can be fixed to PSC slipper with pandrel clips, liner, rubber pad, etc. So on these three methods you can take any one, okay, on metal slippers with keys, or you can directly spike it to the wooden slipper, or you can keep with the pandrel clips, liner, rubber pad with the PSC. PSC means pre-stressed concrete slippers, okay. So in previous days we have used the wooden slippers, but now we are using the PSC slippers in all India, okay. And flat footer rails, it has got high lateral and vertical strength, okay. So comparison to bull-headed, and this is very good. Maintenance is easier compared with bull-headed and DH rails, okay. And fastenings required are few. Here fastenings are nothing but bolts and fixtures and screws, nuts, okay. So they are required very few, and easy inspection of rails, sleepers and fittings. So it is suitable for inspection of rails, very seeing easily and clearly, and sleepers and fittings are very easily, okay. So next, rail characteristics. So what are the rail characteristics and how it should be? So first of all we have to see the size of rails, okay, whether it is in the correct shape or not. And next, standard length of rail. So does anyone know what is the standard length of one rail? So standard length of rail we have to check it, okay. And next, wear of rails. So wear of rails also we have to check what is the strength and durable, okay. So these are the rail characteristics, okay. And next, size of rails are specified by their mass in kg per meters of length, okay. So you can know size of rails specified by their mass in kg per meter length, okay. And choice of size of rails depends upon axial load, speed, spacing of slippers, gauge, traffic, okay. So depending upon this 5, the size of rails will be there. So standard length of rails are, you can see in India the rails are manufactured in lengths of 12.8 meters for broad gauge and 11.89 meters for meter gauge, okay. So this is the standard length of one rail, okay. This, remember, it is very important. In India the rails are manufactured in length of 12.8 meters for broad gauge and 11.89 meters per meter gauge, okay. And standard lengths are considered from the viewpoint of its manufacture for the facility of being transported by wagons, and facility for lifting and handling of the rail, and provision of expansion joints. So these are the standard lengths for the considering. So from the manufacturer itself they will be considering what is the length. And next, for the facility of being transported by the wagons, okay, and for lifting and handling of the rail, okay, and provision of expansion joints, okay. Expansion joints are nothing but connecting between the one track to another, okay. And next, wear of rails, okay. Rails get worn out in 3 positions: on the top of the rail, at the end of the rail length, inner side of the head of rail. You can see rails get worn out means, so worn out means you can see in the seasonal climates the rail's position will be changing. So they will be expanding, or what will happen means, so these rails will be getting worn out in the 3 positions mainly, okay. But on the top of the rail and at the end of the rail length, so on the top of the rail, so that when the train goes or wheel loads, okay, we will get the abrasion, okay, abrasion, wear and tear, okay. And at the end of the rail we will be getting the sudden contraction and compaction, okay. So it will be extending the season climates. In summer the temperature will be different, okay, but when coming to the winter the another temperature will be different. And inner side of the head of the rail, okay. So this will be the elongation, okay. In India, permissible limit of wear is 5% of the weight of the rail, okay. So this is the limit of weight of the rail. So you can see here 3 types of wear of rails are there. So you can see this is the head and this is the wear portion, okay. That means it will be the, this is the original surface and this is the worn out. That means it is surface burr, okay. And this is the inner face. So what will happen? The portion will be somewhat distinctly, okay. So this is the actual portion, this will be compacted. So this will be changing upon the worn out, okay. So you can see this is the rail to rail compaction. When the wheel goes, so this joint is there. So this joint will be, sometimes it will be expansion, job will be extending more, or in sometimes it will be getting nearer. So that is depending upon the load and the temperature. So you can see original inner face and this is the wear. So these 3 types, at top this one and this is the at ends, okay, and this is on sides. So based on these types, three types of wears of rails will be happening. So these we can see as a practical. When we go to near railway tracks, we can observe these three types of things. Okay. So how we can measure these things? You can take an example of a new railway track measurement, and you can take when the using railway track measurement. Then you can know the experience of this wear of rails. Okay. So finally summary, we have discussed today types of rails and characteristics of rails. So coming to the examination questions, state any four requirements of a good rail, and briefly explain flat footer rail with a neat sketch, and briefly describe the different characteristics of rails. So these are the examination questions for your examination. Okay. So I hope today you understand this topic. Okay. So thank you. Have a nice day.